You're wondering about your special someone, your sweetheart, your desired partner. You're asking yourself, if we get back together in a committed relationship, will it be just like it was before? Or will there be a change? Or if you're still in the getting to know each other phase, what will it be like once you're in a relationship? Will he or she show the same behaviors then as well? If there's currently a break, as I said, and you're asking yourself, if something starts up again between us, will it be just like it was before? Or will there be a change? Then the question is, what kind of change? Would things turn negative or completely positive? Or would it just be the same as before? Maybe in terms of his behavior patterns, it's always this on-off thing. And that's what we're going to take a look at now. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy. And dear ones, collective readings can't apply to everyone, and the court cards are gender neutral. That means your counterpart can be male or female. And I always find it so wonderful how you adapt it for yourselves, including what is shown. Even if, for example, I say work, you know exactly, okay, for me it's school or further education. So I think that's absolutely perfect. Or an activity that it could simply be something outside. And as I said, let's take a look at that now. So we're not looking outside, but rather at the energy, at your beloved's energy. A very heartfelt, love-filled hello and a wonderfully warm hug to all of you. You are so sweet, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your wonderfully kind comments once again, and also to everyone who has chosen to become a channel member. Thank you so much. A warm welcome. And also to everyone who has rejoined, who has come back to channel membership. Thank you for that. And to each and every one of you, thank you so very sincerely for your continued loyalty. I truly deeply appreciate it. But now let's get things started here and see if there's any change. Oops, I'll reshuffle again. That's all. All right, now I've got the rhythm down better. Okay, so let's see what shows up. Well, that's a good start. So we have sex. Do you see that? Yes, exactly. We have the Six of Cups. So you can already see, with your beloved, this tendency to overthink. Maybe he was always overthinking, or maybe he still is right now. And there's this, maybe she never wanted to take the blame herself, always rejected the blame. But there's also something about her behavior that's connected to deception. And here we have, which I find truly wonderful, really this springtime in love, this sense of something new. Something new begins here. We have a new beginning. It could also be that a past issue is a major theme here. So, as I said, when I say the past, it doesn't matter how long ago it was, it's the past. You had contact, definitely yes. And love was involved in the situation. Maybe it was also the case that he let himself be misled by his surroundings, or he was too much in his own head and didn't really know what he was doing in this connection. Whether it was a relationship, a life partnership, or just a friendship with benefits, or even just the getting to know each other phase. But here something new is beginning in love, and I think that's really wonderful. So let's see how things continue here. Okay, so this is fantastic. So we already have the Hierophant here. And with the Hierophant, is there an issue that's occupying him as well? What is it here? Yes, it's his issue with trust. Maybe he couldn't trust himself, or he was always jealous and therefore couldn't trust. Maybe, since we're talking about the past, a past issue, that this is still something he struggles with and that it has been an issue for him. But here too, he's going along with something. What exactly that is, we'll definitely take a closer look at, a deeper look. And right now I see him in this area, this loneliness. And with the Hierophant, it's also shown that trust, as I said, is a big issue here because something is weighing on his mind. He's currently trying to go along with or process something here. And again, wonderfully, optimism. There's a sense of optimism here. There's something here where I would say, okay, things are starting to move. Something is happening here. And then let's take a look at what I find absolutely fantastic here again. We have the Four of Wands. And as is typical with the Four of Wands, it really shows this, this sense of security. Maybe he was also lacking a sense of security. He's working on something. There's something going on here. We're dealing with issues from the past, but also in a period of change. And right now we have this movement here moving more towards openness. And this is a transition. We're in a kind of transitional phase, a transition, and there's still a part of him that maybe feels a bit trapped and a certain tension. But there's also this closeness that has to do with you. We're in an energy here that's directed towards you. But something is moving him here, so something is occupying his mind. Yes, maybe it's a transformation, definitely some kind of change. How and what exactly? We'll take a look. Oops. So let's take a look. What I still want to show right here at this very particular point in time to each and every one of you who are watching and listening. Well, if you just go along with it like that. So I have to smile now because we have the topic of jealousy and trust very much present here. Yes, so it shows that this is a really, really big issue. Once again, we are in a period of change and transformation. So let's take a look. It's fantastic. He's doing it absolutely perfectly, I can already say that. And now he's doing it even more perfectly. Well, I don't actually know him, but I like him right now. So let's take another look. Let's take these for clarification. And those, yes. Good, so absolutely outstanding. With your loved one, what I find incredibly central, super central and good here is that I see him reaching for this happiness. Here, past issues are being shown very clearly. Past jealousy, that's his issue. And you're right in the middle of it, not just on the sidelines. And now he's heading straight towards what he's always held on to. We see the change here. What he's always clung to from his past, this tenseness, this holding on, never really, maybe never truly experiencing happiness in a light-hearted, joyful way. And with him, yes, I see a complete change, a transformation, a realignment. He spends quite some time dealing with this because it's about making a decision. Here, we can clearly see that this is being let go of. This is also reflected in these cards. We have the letting go. It's a process of detachment from what once was. We have a transition here because where he was always unsure, and this has to do with you, the connection, even if there was a relationship between the two of you. I actually find this really interesting now because here I have a connection. A life partnership, B, friends with benefits, and C, a friendship. So as I said, we have everything compressed here. I honestly can't remember ever having something like this before. In any case, I think it's great. And that's the connection. It really shows you all the connections that matter with you. And yes, there was a withdrawal. He never completely withdrew. I was about to combine two words into one again, but that doesn't work, does it? Here he has closed himself off to you, not really opened up. He knows on a conscious level that he has disappointed you and is also disappointed in himself. Above all, this sorrow, this worry when it comes to love, because we are right in the center of heart opening here. And that's what he is dealing with right now. But unfortunately, as you know, we are collective, right? That's it. The decision has been made. His determination to take control of his happiness, and that's about embracing change. And now if we look here, we ask the question, if a relationship develops between the two of you or rekindles or something evolves, even if there's a break right now, no matter what it was about, we are in the present moment. We've now asked the question, and what I see here is complete transformation. I see a total turnaround for the better. I see change here as well, so in that area too. He is thoroughly cleansing his inner self. So he's really tidying up everything inside himself. We're seeing a complete cleanup here, a positive turnaround and healing. The tide is turning. And as I said, all these connections here, whether it's a relationship, it could even be a marriage, right? Life partnership, marriage, Yes, friends with benefits, as I mentioned, that's also being addressed, and also the area of friendship, because even in the realm of friendship, there was already more attraction present, I want to add, than he ever actually told you. Because I always sense this, his inner restlessness, this indecisiveness, and basically his situation, the one he was always in, that he kept dragging back and forth. There I see the change, because that's a burden, now a burden, that he never wanted to see in the past. He has tremendous, here we also have someone dealing with fears. This, it won't work out. This maybe not wanting to commit, this real, this stable, because there's always this underlying thought that something will come up and I'll have to completely realign myself. As I said, it's the same here. Everything is being completely wrapped up now. That's what has always been this heaviness, what made it hard for him to make a decision to change. Now it's moving towards stability, toward realignment. And this huge boulder of problems, as he sees it, becomes very small here. There's nothing left that can't be solved. So he's working through everything here, step by step, really dealing with it all, freeing himself from this burden and this transition. Wonderful. And he also knows what makes him happy, who makes him happy. Above all, I really see a transformation happening with your loved one here. Transformation, the transition, the healing, the big change for him or for her. It's a big change, and it's all about coming into one's own center, into this warmth towards oneself, allowing love, and above all, being able to open up. Because I also see conversations happening here. So if the change is what I see here, because jealousy was always an issue, right? I can see this issue of trust very, very clearly here as well. There's this trust, first of all, in oneself. I've seen him very clearly, time and again, wavering in his self-confidence, you know? He kept showing something different on the outside, always trying to cover things up so it wouldn't be so obvious. So I always like to say it's this kind of entertainment for the outside world, right? Entertainer. And as I said, there was also an issue with jealousy. Maybe these are also issues, for example, when you went shopping, because I also see the topic of being in public here. It could be that you were out somewhere meeting up with friends, and there maybe he didn't completely believe you, or it was like maybe he did believe you, but still, deep down in his mind, there was always something going on, like, maybe there's someone else after all. Who is she talking to right now? What exactly is going on there? And that's his issue, a trust issue. And I also completely see the transformation, the change, the trust in himself, and above all, giving you that trust completely, giving you that sense of ease as well. That was an issue, this lightness between the two of you. He was always the one who didn't really know what was going on, right? He always put on a front for others and so on, and then maybe he ran away at times. We also had an on-off situation. But what I find wonderful now is that if there was an on-off before, I now see complete stability here so that it won't happen anymore, because I see a complete transformation. There will also be more warmth, honesty, and authenticity in the way love is communicated here. And you can be sure that it is truly sincere and genuinely meant. Above all, I see more communication here, an opening of the heart so that more is being said, and there is more conversation about what problems or issues he might have, or what is bothering him, because I see these calm, heartfelt, and warm conversations. And maybe he hasn't always given you his full attention, that he kind of, let me put it very bluntly, he maybe didn't really care how you were doing, you know? Or this attitude of, well, you'll manage, you know? Sort of like boom, you know? That kind of tactlessness. And here I see that everything is shifting completely, because everything that caused stress here is being let go. And I actually see tears of joy here. Tears of joy, because you can feel the change as well. Maybe you're already sensing something now, because I feel a very intense, strong connection between the two of you. So really, we definitely have a change here. I have the honest, deep loyalty. At the beginning, it might be that there's this cautiousness, you know, that things are kept a bit secret, but only a little. But it's like he wants this for himself. He always needs to feel completely secure. He finds that security with you, you know, that's for sure. It's just that he himself, well, it's only a little, it doesn't last long. That doesn't mean, okay, we're back together now, and then boom, you know? We're not going to make it completely public again right away or make it go viral, you know? And that will happen, yes. At first, as I said, he'll still be cautious because he also has to sort things out with his own circle, and he wants to be he wants to have this security for himself, that you might not just leave him again right away. That's his issue. And that's the thing. He just wouldn't be able to handle being left. Oh God, no, what is it? There's still a bit of that, like worrying about what others might think, but he's slowly letting go of that. So as I said, it's just at the beginning, just a little bit. It could be just 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that, roughly, and then it becomes complete. Here, I see total stability. You have a solid connection. The intensity of your relationship is there. And yes, it will be different because there's more of this genuine togetherness, this mutual support. You have more balance, more harmony between you. In conversations when you meet, him with you, you with him together, Maybe going somewhere together, taking trips, doing things together. So that's absolutely fantastic. Above all, what I find so wonderfully beautiful here is a completely clear direction, which also means a domestic or spatial change. It could also be that he wants this stability with you to move in together. That's what happens when a move or a change in living situation is indicated. And there, as I said, complete happiness, total healing when it comes to love. Truly, this deep love, your love, life. If you were in a relationship, maybe there was always something that just didn't quite work out. Something was always off. Something always got in the way. And now this is moving completely into stability. And above all, I see loyalty, honest, genuine, deep love, the great love. And that is exactly what is fully active here, moving in this direction. And yes, we have a change. If you get back together, it's a change for the absolutely positive. And as I said, there might be one thing or another. Nobody is perfect, But I don't see any lies here, no intrigue, no deception, no waiting room with gummy bears, cookies, sandwiches, and loads of coffee, tea, and mineral water. Nothing like that, No, I don't have that anymore. No on and off, no pushing you away or anything like that. Instead, it's really important to him to make you completely happy. Above all, I have the openness. He opens up to you more. Not from 0 to 100, but more and more. You'll also notice the changes in your loved one, that more and more is being said, more and more of these little steps, small steps for him, but then suddenly, whoosh, there's a really big leap, right? Maybe he drank a lot of energy drinks or something, and then energetically, there's a huge leap where you think, whoa, right? Wow. Was just, so you're really surprised yourself at what he's now revealing and telling you and how he's opening up to you. And in that moment, if you want, you can accept it, you can smile and simply enjoy it. So let's take a look here at the tendency. It's dreamy. We have feelings again. Love is back in play. The Two of Cups. The conflicts, his own inner conflicts, or the conflicts that have always existed between you in your relationship, are being overcome here. And the attraction, the connection between the two of you is so intense, so strong. This is heading toward love. Your togetherness and reconciliation are being shown. So these loving encounters, this coming together, this connection of unity, you are once again forming a harmonious unit. And as I said, that is being completely replaced. So then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Here too, as I mentioned earlier, he needs security. Of course, you also need security. You never really had that with him, did you? Sometimes it was like this, sometimes like that, and maybe it was a whole book full of question marks. Here, it's all about security completely. These shared life goals are present here and moving out of loneliness. And that's exactly what's happening to your loved one right now. It's gently opening his eyes to the truly enriching and meaningful experience he has had with you. And that opens his eyes to what he hasn't seen yet. And here I have the absolutely perfect closing statement. A stable, loving, honest relationship. Wow, beautiful. Dear ones, I wish this for each and every one of you, and I think it's so wonderful. You always make your own decisions and always keep your focus on yourselves. Your self-concept, self-love, that's always the most important thing, and that's what you do, and I think that's wonderful. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching and wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.